Okay. Sorry, guys. Started the video and my phone fell over. So today I want to talk about the day that all Christians, all believers in Jesus, the day that we know is coming. And for you who don't know what we're talking about, you might want to pay attention. It's going to be really important. So I'm just going to read a couple verses and then give my wife her phone back. By the way, she's sick. She's here and she's going to clear her throat a lot. So Thessalonians 4:17, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Luke 17 verses 34 through 37. I tell you, in that night there shall be two men, one in bed and one... I can't read, can you tell? One in bed and one shall be taken and the other shall be left. Thessalonians 4:16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. And there's a ton more. I'm not going to read through all of them. It would take me all night. But essentially, there you go, honey. Essentially, we have to talk about that. So for those of you who have family and they don't participate in educating themselves on Yahweh or Yeshua or the Bible, and you are worried that maybe they won't be taken up with those who will, there's some things that you could do for your family if they get left behind. This is really important. I've had this in my heart for a couple years now. I've always been somebody who has like a bug out bag or whatever. But with mine, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to write a letter and put it in my Bible. And then any family members who know that I have this, if they come looking for it, they will find it. You could also dedicate letters to people and give it to them and ask them not to open it until the day that they can no longer talk to you. They may think that's really weird, but just make them promise. And then just talk about everything. Explain to them, like, the GOVT is probably going to say that it was the green guys in the sky who did it, and that's why we've been seeing so many Dior bags in the sky and whatnot. And, like, explain to them what it was, where you went, and how they can be with you again. I mean, obviously they can only get there by letting Christ into their heart, and that's going to be... For some people, most of their family is going to be gone, if not all. And it's going to be one of the hardest days of their life. And if they don't have something to help them get through that, I mean, I don't know what... God is a miracle worker. I can't say that they won't miraculously be saved, but they need to at least know where to look for him, and they need to know what took place. On top of that, we're all aware that once the church is gone from the earth, there won't be much good left in it at all. I mean, there may be a few people in the church who didn't live sincerely like they were supposed to, and they may stay behind, and they may be able to revive the people who are here, but we can't pretend to know how it's going to go. And we can trust God and we can wait on the Lord for these answers, but it doesn't mean that we just have to wait here and do nothing to assist. I would write letters to family members who refuse to listen to you. I would, my family's close. I'm blessed. I'm lucky enough to have a family that loves each other very much. I think what I'm probably going to do is have a box that has letters to my loved ones, multiple versions of the Bible, personal experiences and stories that I write out that maybe they didn't want to listen to while I was here, that they could read. It would be really, really, really good for those of you to leave something behind for them that they can look back on, and it could touch their heart, and it can really make them understand how big of a deal it is, and to understand that it's not the Dior bags, because that's what those in charge are going to say, or some, new high-tech weapon, maybe? I don't know. They're going to find some kind of excuse because they're going to do everything that they can to reveal the truth that it was God coming back for his church. They are not going to allow that to get out. And those who are aware, maybe those that were in the church once, that know what took place, when they try to speak up about it, they're going to get silenced. Just like we're all getting silenced here right now. And even if if you're lucky enough to have a very like a big family that's healthy in the church, and you don't have to necessarily worry about your family per se, it wouldn't be a bad thing to leave things around your house for the strangers that are going to break into it once all of you guys are gone. I watched a video of a woman just now talking about how when the church is gone, what we're doing right now, the push that we're doing right now that God is calling us to do, is because eventually, no one can pretend to know when, but when he takes his church, there won't be any church left to inform anybody. And once the church is gone and the spirit of the enemy comes into human form and pushes the beast system, Bibles are going to get destroyed. They're going to be burned. They're going to be taken from people against their will. And once the beast system is implemented, everybody's going to be so far gone, they're not even going to think about the Bible. So what's really important is that before the beast system is implemented and after the taking up, that's a smaller period than 7 years for the lost children of God to come to him. And he can perform miracles. We are not going to deny the fact that he is a miracle worker. He is the creator. He is the most powerful. But he also gave us free will. And he's not going to force us to love him. That isn't a kind of love that you want. I mean, imagine forcing your spouse to stay with you when they want to leave. That is unhealthy. He wouldn't do that to us. And he's not going to work those miracles if we don't want it. Because that's what free will is for. We get to make the decisions. So, because you can't force anybody, what you can do is give them the resources that they're going to need. Even if, I'm not speaking this like it's going to happen. We don't want this to happen. But even if a true believer perishes in a different way and leaves their children behind with no spiritual guidance to God and Jesus, they're going to be left without those influences that can really help and bring them home. And we really need to prepare for that, because when the church is gone, it's going to be unimaginably bad. You have a bad day now. I just had a bad day yesterday. I had a really bad day. And today I got frostbite on both of my thumbs because I don't think, and I pumped up a tire without wearing gloves, and I already have prior nerve damage in both hands. So I'm in really bad pain right now, okay? The worst day that you could imagine, it's not going to even come close to what is coming for these people every single day for that whole 7-year period. So I can't stress enough the fact that, God is pressing in my heart very much that we're going to have to start doing really crazy, out of the normal, things to get his word out. Things that most people in the world would say, you're a lunatic, you belong in the nut house. That's what he's expecting. He's expecting us to be like John the Baptist. He wants more John the Baptists. Why don't we all become John the Baptists, okay? I mean, God has amazing crowns in heaven waiting for all of us. He really does. And we need to earn those crowns, not by works, but by love. Acts of love, acts of service towards him and towards his children and towards your loved ones who will need it. Even if they don't want it right now, they'll want it. All right, guys, please pray. Please stay in touch with him.